Hi there, my name is Darsun. I am a business coach and trainer. In my last video, I shared my views and posed few questions about failure. And in this video, I want to talk about a related topic, risk taking. Oftentimes, many people associate risk taking with failure. Risks can be small and insignificant, or big and bold, but they are very personal. What is risky for me might not be risky for you. For example, in my case, I am afraid of water, and it's very risky for me. This is because of past traumatic experience where I almost drowned while trying to swim. Ever since, I have to fight this fear every time I visit a sea or a swimming pool. Our views of risk taking can be shaped by our own personal beliefs and life experiences, including how our parents perceived it as we were growing up. For me, risk is something that puts me in a certain physiological state. For example, it's something that makes my heart pound, makes me feel uncomfortable, anxious, and worried. Because oftentimes, when I'm taking risk, it means I'm trying something new and leaving my comfort zone with a possibility of failing. The uncertainty of the outcome, that's what makes risk taking scary. For example, this year I decided to leave my full time job and pursue my passion. This decision triggered a lot of self doubt, a lot of criticism and worry and anxiety and fear of failure and finding out that I was not good enough. What about you? What comes to your mind when you think of risk taking? You might think of skydiving, bungee jumping, or car racing, or you might think of going on a first date after a heartbreak, taking on a challenging new job, entering into a marriage, or starting a business. You don't have to be reckless in order to take risks. Think of car racers. They take a lot of risks, if you ask me. It is literally life or death situation for them. But they have assessed and calculated their risks. They have learned and mastered all the necessary skills, and they have built a team around them to minimize the costs and negative consequences of taking risk. While taking risks can be a rewarding experience, it's not easy to take risks. And oftentimes, the fear of failure stops us from even trying. Are you familiar with Newton's first law of motion, also known as inertia? It goes as follows: an object at rest stays at rest, an object in motion stays in motion. This principle can explain why oftentimes it's so easy for us to get used to and get comfortable in jobs and in relationships that we know no longer serves us. Our brains and bodies are wired to stay in homeostasis, a state of relative stability. However, stability doesn't mean that we're thriving. In order to feel content with life and to live life to its fullest, we need to take risks and get out of our comfort zones. When we take risks, our brain releases adrenalin, which increases the rates of dopamine and causes an intense feeling of pleasure. Occasional surges in dopamine are a good thing as long as they are not too frequent and too sharp. So, if you feel stuck, too comfortable with where you are, or that your life misses some color and vibrancy, take risks. Start small. Take risks with minimal negative impact. Better yet, assess your risks and take calculated risks where you can minimize the potential negative costs. Remember my fear of water? Well, this year I set an overarching goal for myself to take more risks and to embrace failure. In this spirit, I signed up for river canyoning in my recent trip to Croatia. River canyoning involves navigating down fast stream of mountain stream, climbing, sliding, floating, and jumping into a deep water. The only reason I signed up to do it because I had a life vest and a partner who had my back. Also, think about the worst case scenario, but don't dwell on it for too long. Instead, try to focus on the upside of change. In my case, when I decided to leave my full time job, instead of focusing on all the reasons why I would fail, I decided to focus on what success would look like and how much more happier and fulfilled I would be if I pursued my passion. And most importantly, build a safety net of trusted people who can support and encourage you along your journey. If you fall, it won't hurt that much and not for that long. In my case, I am blessed to have my family and friends who are there for me no matter what kind of crazy idea I decide to follow or how deep I fall. I hope you found my views on risk helpful as you reflect on your own relationship with risk taking. In the comments below, share with me the following: 1. How often you take risks, and 2. What was the riskiest thing you've done so far? And remember, risk taking is very personal. For someone, it might be a bungee jumping. For someone else, it might be jumping into a deep pool. Till next time.